तारं दातारं सर्वसंपदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। जय श्रीमन्नारायण। प्रिय भगवत बांधवों, let us start with a Shanti Mantram. We say once and let's all repeat it. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Purnamidam Purnamadaha Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om. God blesses all with the ability to understand Him and to understand His glories and to respond according to Him. We have already discussed about the inner concept of this Shanti mantra. When we are thirsty, though water is available in a form around us in the form of moisture, we won't be able to drink it. Water is there in the clouds, we just cannot get it. It rains during different times, but it's not that much useful when we are in need. Water is very much under the ground where we are, but it's very difficult to get it. Only that water is easily accessible and easily available, which is caught up during the rains and then stored and then channelized through the canals and brought to a tank where we can have the pipelines connected to our own place, maybe a home or a room, and then whenever we turn it on, then we can get the water, fresh water. We can store it in different ways. We can keep it in the fridge, we can store it in the bottles, but we can get that kind of water easily whenever we are in real need. This is to quench the thirst of the body. Sometimes the soul also gets thirst. Soul, we also get a kind of thirst, and that thirst is about the reality of this life, the ultimate purpose of the life. And the thirst is about the power that is controlling all of us, all of this universe, all these great phenomena. When we get such a kind of a thirst, it is always advised to seek the guidance of the great experienced souls like sages, alvas, and acharyas. They give us a proper guidance and exact path as how we can quench the inner thirst, the thirst of the soul. They explained in this beautiful Shanti mantra, God is always omnipotent. He is full with everything. He is omniscient. He knows everything. If we are able to gather and collect only the intelligence of all these creatures to a place, if at all possible, and that is an iota of the intelligence of that God, universal self, or universal soul, or universal power, what is called as Isha, Parabrahma, Param Jyoti, Paramatma, Brahma, Param Brahma. Many, many names are given to that universal power. My dear Bandhava, that Brahma, that is also accessible to us whenever we are in real thirst. We can satiate our thirst by the guidance provided by those great rishis, acharyas and alvars. They said God is Purnam. He is all full. He is omnipotent. Everywhere He is existing. In every atom He exists. In every particle of this universe He exists, and beyond this universe also He exists. But there is a proper way to experience Him. When there is vast water is there in a big river, and we want to draw the water, we need a shore. We need a place wherefrom we can get into that water and experience that water. We just can't jump into the middle of the waters. We need a shore. So also, when God is omnipresent, He is everywhere, all pervasive, but to get a kind of experience, you need a shore. You need a place from where you can just enter the arena of God. What is that? Here, this mantra, this Shanti mantra, is discussing about that power of God from where we can experience. It says, He is all pervasive, just like the moisture in the atmosphere, but we won't be able to get it. He is available in an abode called Vyuha, a planning abode, but we don't know where exactly it is. He often comes to this world in different forms called appearances, avatars, but it's very difficult for us to identify which is avatara and which is not. And we really don't know when that avatara comes, and probably as per the recommendations of the rishis, those times for avatars is already completed. He came, of course, in different forms like Rama, Krishna, Vamana, Nrsimha, Venkatesha, etc., etc. But now, those avatars' time is up, and it is just like the rainy water. but we won't be able to get it whenever we are in need. And He is very much there within all of us, but very difficult for us to understand. And it's really hard to put any kind of effort to understand that. Without knowing what the qualities of that God are, how can we identify that at all? If you know the fragrance of a jasmine, you will be able to identify by getting that fragrance, yes, this is a jasmine, this is a rose, and so on. But what are the qualities of that God? Again, you have to refer to something. Vedas talked about that God and also gave us a shore from where we can really enter that arena of God. And this indweller form of God called Antaryami is also very difficult for us to reach. But that form of God is easy for us to approach, easy for us to do something, easy for us to get a kind of experience which is called as a deity. Very difficult to understand, because we always say deity is something what we carved. If it is made of a stone, made of a metal, made of a piece of paper, made of a piece of cloth or something else, it's something what we made. How does it become God is a very big question. An example is always given. We know the lamp, oil lamp. The lamp is made of clay. That's what we make. Oil is needed to fill in that lamp. Oil also extracted by us only. And we need a few wicks also. And wicks are made of cotton. And we know how to make them. And we took the lamp, filled the oil, and fixed the wicks. And then we took a matchstick and then lighted it up. The stick also made by us. Fine. All these are made by us. But when we used a kind of energy there to light it up, and then a glow comes. There are two beautiful qualities with it. One is ability to dispel the darkness, and also an ability to burn if we touch it. The ability to burn is not given by us, and the ability to dispel the darkness, providing the glow, is not given by us. Of course, clay is us, oil is us, wicks are us, matchstick is us, everything is us. And there is no glow or burning ability in the clay lamp. And oil cannot do that, wick cannot do that, and matchstick individually cannot do that. But when we use a kind of energy in it to light up, then these two abilities are coming there. It dispels the darkness and it burns anything that touches. These two are greater things. So also the deity, we may make it with any kind of stuff, doesn't matter. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. You can take any kind of the substance. You may take a clay and make a deity. You can take a gold piece, you can carve it. You can take a bronze piece, you can carve it. Or you can take a copper, you can carve it. Or you can take a piece of cloth or paper and make it. But
సెరెనిటీ మోడల్ హై స్కూల్ విద్యార్థులకు అమ్మఒడి, సామాన్యులకు అందుబాటులో ఉన్న బడి సెరెనిటీ. మేడ్చల్ జిల్లాలో మేటిగా నిలిచి సాటిలేని ఫలితాలను సాధిస్తున్న నంబర్ 1 స్కూల్ సెరెనిటీ. మా ప్రత్యేకతలు ప్రతి విద్యార్థి పట్ల వ్యక్తిగత శ్రద్ధ, యాక్టివిటీ బేస్డ్ లెర్నింగ్ అండ్ డిజిటల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్స్, కంప్యూటర్ ల్యాబ్, 100% ఫలితాలు, స్పోర్ట్స్ అండ్ కల్చరల్ యాక్టివిటీస్, యోగా, అబాకస్ మరియు వేదిక్ మ్యాథ్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ Serenity Model High School, Nagaram. Admissions are in progress. Call 040-271-46899 and 040-271-48699.
Before making something, it is called with a specific name. But when you give a form to that and you give a name to that, and then, of course, observed a kind of process to sanctify that, to receive your prayers, and then it is called a deity. Then that also will have two types of abilities. One, to dispel the inner darkness, which the external light cannot do. Sun cannot do, or bulb cannot do. The inner darkness will be dispelled, one ability. And other ability is burning the sins which are here in the manas, in the senses, in the body, purifies. As the lamp burns, thus this deity burns the sins. And then this deity also dispels our inner darkness and allows us to outflow the love and the faith. Two things are there. This is what we call a deity. And the place to have the deity is called a temple. A temple. And anybody can get it. And it's easy. And that is the place which we call as a shore to enter the river. A place to get the experience of that. Or when we are talking about the water, when you store the water in the bottle or a glass, and you can drink it whenever just you are thirsty. And whenever you need, you can simply just take it and you can start enjoying, experiencing. So also you can experience God through a deity only. So this is what the Shanti Mantra declares, like God is always Purnam, no matter wherever He is, in whichever form He is. Because fire, not necessarily so big, huge, even a smaller element of the fire can burn the things if proper process is adopted. So also the deity, when you want it to be with you, you can experience God from there itself, and you can burn the sins to ashes. That is what the mantra says, Purnameva vasishyate. And that is also remains Purnam only, omnipotent always. But what the element required is the knowledge, the faith, the love. Then people may question, when we touch the deity, it doesn't burn, and when we turn off the lights, it doesn't glow. Of course, there are few things which will not appear as if they are burning, just like the laser beam. Do you see the laser beam of physically burning things? No. When there are certain rays which are not visible to our naked eyes but are able to do their functionality. And this is the power of God, which will definitely work on us when we have the connectivity through the faith that is instilled by the Acharyas. So it is very evident that you have to have a deity, a temple, to purify us, to purify the society, to purify the human beings. Probably that is the reason, and that was the reason why the concept of temples is introduced in the society by our great rishis. And this temple concept is not a new thing, which, as some people say, started about 2000 years ago. No. If we go back to Bhagavat, the age of which goes almost to 6,000 years, we found the details of the temples. And even if you go back to Sri Ramayana, the age of which goes back to almost 1.75 million years, there is wonderful mention of temples that were used by the people in the society. So, temple was understood as a center of the society, and it is a need for the society so that it will bring all people together. In homes, we won't be able to do that. We only sometimes allowing only the people selected, either from relatives or from the friends. Others cannot. So there are restrictions to reach any place, but to a temple there are absolutely no restrictions whatsoever in terms of caste, creed, race, religion, sex, age, whatever it may be. This is the beautiful concept, of course, brought out by the great Acharya Ramanuja 1,000 years before. He made it mandatory for the people to allow everybody into the temple and everybody to understand God and to know the mantra. So temple is very, very important thing. And my friends, when you go to temple or when you have the deity, maybe in your home, because it's always not necessary to go only to a temple to experience the presence of a God or a deity. You can have deity in your home, with you too, and you, wherever you may be, always with you. But the question is, when you approach God, when you see God, how to understand and how to talk and how to experience that He helps me. This is what we need to understand. So, here is a beautiful Upanishad, just in 18 mantras, explained how to understand the concept of God, how to know the form of deity, and how to talk to Him, what to ask. If somebody allows us to go to a deity in a temple, and there comes a big list of our wantings. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't know how much time they permit us to stand before the deity. But before they throw us out, we want to just outpour all our demands before Him. Right? God God, please take care of this, please take care of this, please do this favor, do this, that. Many things. But who is He? And what does it do? And what you have to understand when you are with Him, when you are standing in front of Him, when you are sitting with Him, or when you are interacting with Him. Does He speak? Is another big question. How does He respond? Is another big question. My friends, few things need not physically respond, need not physically talk to us, but we get the response from them. All we know the phones. Do they move? Do they talk? Do they speak with us? We don't know. We won't be able to say that they speak, and we won't be also able to say that they won't speak. And they speak with us, but they won't speak with us. Right? So also with the deity. A deity does not speak, need not speak with us physically, but it speaks with the heart. It need not move physically, it moves our heart. When we offer something, some people ask, does it eat? And if it starts eating, we never keep anything before it, But it should not eat, because the purpose of the deity is not just simply to eat. The purpose of the deity is to sanctify whatever comes in front of that. The purpose of deity is to purify the objects that are kept before and bless us with such kind of things. Drishtva trupyanti. Drishtva trupyanti. That means when you keep something before it, it purifies and provides you that. The moment you take it, the grace, the divine mercy that comes through that object will remain with you, but the physical substance, whatever just you kept there, will automatically has its own natural process of getting out of the body. But the grace you need to get, and you need a media, you need a glass, you need a cup through which you can get it. And you need to provide your ego, your arrogance, your ahankara, and you have to dedicate it before that, for which again you need a container. So you offer something like a fruit or a flower or something, any kind of object through which you offer your ego, your arrogance and all other evil qualities that are there with us, and the deity purifies all of them and give back that element through you, to you. And when you experience that, if you take the flower, if you take the fruit, if you take the piece of cloth, if you take the water, whatever is given from there after purification, and you get it, and that mercy will remain with you, and other things of course will have their own natural process. But you need the process to continue. That is the power of the deity. And it is said by our great acharyas, he knows everything. When we understand that he is all present, he is omnipresent, definitely he will be there in the form of the deity also, isn't it? Because that is also a small part of the whole. And when he is full, and when he is omnipotent, he is omnipotent there also. So there is no question whether he will be there or not. But the question is, why does not he respond? He doesn't respond because he doesn't want to scare you. If he starts moving and you get scared and you run away, and he will not be there to give you that fear, and He is there to give you strength. He is there to make you more powerful. That's why, though knowing everything, but
నాణ్యతకు నమ్మకానికి మారుపేరు సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్ హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా వద్ద అన్ని రకాల నిత్యావసర సరుకులు సరసమైన ధరలకే లభించును. స్వచ్ఛమైన నాణ్యమైన బియ్యంతో పాటు అన్ని రకాల సరుకులు హోల్సేల్ ధరలకే రిటైల్ అమ్మకం. అనువైన ధరలలో నాణ్యమైన వస్తువుల కొరకు సంప్రదించండి. సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్ హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా అడ్రస్ నాగారం టు కీసరా మెయిన్ రోడ్, రాంపల్లి ఎక్స్ రోడ్. కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ 9247575485 మరియు 6300322583.
appears as if he doesn't know anything. Though able to do everything, but he appears that he is totally dependable on you. Though he is all powerful, but he appears there as if he just needs your energy, your effort to even move that deity. So, he is something like that. He is so great in that sense. He wants to develop a kind of confidence, strength, faith, love, not fear. And thus, he, in the form of deity, will never tries to do anything on his own, but just takes everything as you wish. That is the deity. So, Isavasya Upanishad, after explaining in the Shanti Mantra that the deity is Purnam, the deity is all powerful, the deity is able to provide everything, and then the mantra, first mantra, starts telling us what we need to understand when we are approaching a deity. When you are entering waters, a river or a lake or something like an ocean, whatever it may be, when you are entering a water bed, water area, the minimum qualification is needed is just knowing the swimming, isn't it? So also, anybody, before approaching a deity, the basic things what one needs to understand is what the Isavasya Upanishad explains to us. We are not going to discuss all the 18 mantras that are there in the Isavasya Upanishad, but we will just touch upon a few mantras so that it gives us a kind of encouragement to get into and get the whole details of the Upanishad. Let us discuss about the first mantra as how it teaches us and prepares us for approaching a deity. What we need to understand? First, understand that he is Isa. Isa means very powerful, controller, commander. Here is the mantra. Let's all chant that mantra. A small tutorial, right? So we say just once and let us all just repeat it. Om Isa Vasyam Idagum Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magruthah Kasyasvit Dhanam Om is the first mantra. Very beautiful mantra. Mahatma Gandhi used to love this mantra like anything. He used to chant it all the times. What does this mantra say to us? The very first word it uses is God is Isa. Isa means a ruler, a controller. There are two factors, my friends, to make us work properly. One is love and other is fear. If there is a fear that the officer may come and he may fire and he may not pay me something or something like that, then we work with all attention, with all care, but that is out of fear. When there is a police cop standing at some center, people moving through that place are very alert, follow the rules. But if he is not seen and then they start pushing the accelerator or just moving according to their own whims and fancies. But here is the fear factor, I say, that works. With God, than the fear, love is more important. If there is the factor of love, we really do more work than we do out of fear. But the love comes when you think that it is yours. When we think that it is my job, or this is for me, for my benefit, or benefit of my own people, and then we pay more and more attention. And we spare a lot of time in executing some work, in bringing out the result. When we think it is mine, what is the reason? The factor of love working behind. So, fear will put the man under control, but real love really makes man to be more and more and more rigid and following the rules. It makes man like that. But getting real love towards God is really difficult, right? Because he is invisible in the external world, and even in the deity form also, the physical appearance cheats us that, oh, this is not God, this is something, what I made or purchased from the market, or something I carved, or something he carved, or something what we consecrated, and so on and so forth. Because it doesn't move, it doesn't talk, it doesn't do anything, so believing in that is very, very difficult. But once you start really believing in that, then the love makes tremendous miracles, great magics. Love. But for the beginners, or for common man, or for normal persons, it is always the factor of the fear that puts them in proper order. And the whole world, of course, runs out of fear only. See, when we see the movements of the planets, and when we see the changes in the seasons, everything runs out of fear. that if it doesn't work like that, there may be some kind of punishment behind. Of course, beginning that is very much needed. After growing to some extent, then nothing may not is needed really, and the love factor may come then. It is like, when there is a small sapling and you want a tree should be grown, and initially when you sow the sapling or small seed, then you need to protect it very well. You need to provide a tree guard, and you need to nurture it every day, and you need to take a lot of care so that no animal will eat it away and no one will put their foot on that. So the initial care is very much needed. And when it starts growing, and then also a little care is needed, and you have to provide a tree guard and take care of it. But once it grew like a big tree, no guard is needed then.
నాణ్యతకు నమ్మకానికి మారుపేరు సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్ హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా వద్ద అన్ని రకాల నిత్యావసర సరుకులు సరసమైన ధరలకే లభించును. స్వచ్ఛమైన నాణ్యమైన బియ్యంతో పాటు అన్ని రకాల సరుకులు హోల్సేల్ ధరలకే రిటైల్ అమ్మకం. అనువైన ధరలలో నాణ్యమైన వస్తువుల కొరకు సంప్రదించండి. సాయి మహేంద్ర ట్రేడర్స్ హోల్సేల్ అండ్ రిటైల్ మరియు కిరాణా జనరల్ స్టోర్. మా అడ్రస్ నాగారం టు కీసరా మెయిన్ రోడ్, రాంపల్లి ఎక్స్ రోడ్. కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్ 9247575485 మరియు 6300322583.